sungikube phakathi kwamalingo aduba yonke indawo wena thwala ngifihle isiqondiso esakho Nkosi Jesu ngicube njengengane thuliswa ungathuliswa ulwandle amanza yalalela uma utithulani wena mbusi wolwandle Nkosi Jesu ngicube ngangondela okwini namaza ekubuza esitha ukuphumla ngangicike esifubeni mangizwe uthini ungesabi kubeka mangizwe uthini ungesabi kubeka mangizwe uthini ungesabi kubeka mangizwe uthini ungesabi kubeka.
Hello young people and those who are young at heart, welcome to the most exciting youth talk show on the planet. The only thing that is trending much more than COVID-19 is the reality table. Last week we were talking about...
You were talking about sex.
Okay, it was me now. Okay, this week we continue on the same trajectory, hoping to conclude the topic. And our topic today is leg management, but we are talking about...
I'm a blesser.
Then you need to bless me, my guy. Eh?
No, man, this one is a different blessing.
It's a different blessing.
Only women know this blessing.
Okay, so we are talking about leg management, and the subtitle is I'm a blesser. So let me...
No. Not I'm a blesser. It's one blesser for one person. So you say I'm a blesser. It's got that weight.
You got that.
You can, yeah. If you say I'm a blesser.
That's past the ticket for you. We're talking about I'm a blesser.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. But well, we need to understand what because a blessing is something that we've always known to be something that is appreciated because it takes you from one level. Yakuthatha lapha yakubeka lapha. I like.
You see, in the Bible, a blessing was passed down from father to maybe son.
Okay.
So it seems like a blessing is not really earned, but it has a weight, some sort of weight for prosperity.
Wow.
So whatever it is, it's not earned, it's freely given, and it makes the one who's receiving it. They're different from that point on.
So from there you are going to yet another level.
Yes.
Wow, we've got Kudzi on set today because we're talking about issues affecting young people. But let me tell you, today we've got more voices on young people. We've got all the way from Bluewayo. What's his name by the way?
Moses.
Yeah, that's Moses. Moses. Yes, and then we also have in the Sunshine City, for the first time on this set, her name is called Pauline mean, I think this is Paul's sister. We should
Yes,
ask.
because you can't say, I mean, and also it's come from Sunshine City, you can't say Pauline. Paulina, this is...
No. It's Pauline, not
Oh,
Pauline.
Pauline, no, I thought it was Pauline, so...
Yes, so just give us a thumbs up. Thank you and for joining us on Reality Table for the first time, and of course on set. She's been here, we know her, that's Kudzi, because after that we're also going to bring you all the way from...
Is she coming?
She's coming.
All the way from UK, Rumbi.
Yeah, well, I don't know why Ruby has got so many fans. I think because of the questions
She's president of the comment section.
And then we're also going to have from Mushamukuru. Yes, we've got Kuda joining us after the break to give us more on what young people are doing. But what we have often said is we want to try and get this to grow to become a bigger platform where you can even participate from wherever you are. And I know Kuda is working on something, so very soon most of us will be able to comment not only on the live chat, but even into the discussion. So let me start with you, Kudzi. What do you understand, or do they exist, these not blessers?
Now you can say blessers.
Okay, do they exist, the blessers? Because there's a blesser for each and every...
Exactly, but when they are now together in the context
If I was
of
Pastor Tigger, I'll ask you, who is your blesser? But anyway, let's leave it for another day. Do blessers exist?
Yes, they do, and yes, they don't.
Okay.
Well, I can't mix positive, negative, but let me just say yes, they do. So basically, a blesser is a married man or a father with kids who decides to date another man's child, another man's daughter.
So Kudzi, maybe the distance between us is killing me. So you are saying a blesser
Yes,
is a married man.
yes,
He has to be married.
yes.
Oh, the prerequisite of being a blesser,
You have to
for all those who are trying to be blessers, you have to be married
yes,
and dating another man's daughter.
yes,
I mean, we all date other people's daughters, right?
yes.
So I think here you're saying
Another
married
man's
man
unmarried
dating another man's daughter
who's not
who's young enough to be his daughter.
exactly.
Oh, so
Yes.
a prerequisite of being a blesser is you must be able to be married,
Yes,
dating someone else's daughter
yes.
who's young enough to be your daughter. So you're dating your own daughter.
Yes.
All right.
Wow, I'm getting excited already. Before I cross over to Pauline, I just have a question.
Yes.
Now, the financial status, does it qualify or quantify someone who's... Can you be a blesser without the financial muscle? I just want to find out.
Well, it really depends, because it depends what you are blessing with.
I have another question.
Wait.
I have a question.
Just
One.
Okay,
It's not
okay.
a bad question.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
saying. So I'm just saying the word
Yes.
blessing. Surely there must be a so surely blessing is tangible. I would get that. So if you are dating a married man who's old enough to be your father,
Yes.
and he doesn't really have a blessing, I think that's a waste of sin.
Pastor Tigger, he's got a blessing. He's got a blessing.
I also think if you're dating a man who's got a big tummy and doesn't have a bank statement to complement the tummy, you are dating a man with kwashioka.
Exactly.
So when we are asking you to say, does it matter? And you're saying it depends what he's blessing you with. I think
Okay, don't worry. I think we'll get to that other blessing, because what I'm getting to understand is the blessing can come in two forms,
Yes.
but we'll still get there.
Oh.
And let me cross over to Pauline. Pauline, my first question is very simple. Do you believe that blessers do exist? And maybe I'll also come a little bit closer. Thank you for joining us for the first time. Please don't get shocked. But have you... I want to believe you are in a tertiary education system. Maybe if you could also give us probably something that you've experienced, seen. I know you're not talking about yourself, but maybe something that you've seen in your campus.
Okay, so what I think is blessers do exist, especially when you're at the campus. You'd see to my college girls dating those older men who I can say they can be their fathers already. So sometimes you don't really think it's a blessing. Sometimes they will be related or something, but usually you would see how they talk and the relationship, how they share, like there are things you would see. This is not a father and daughter or a brother or sister. This is something else. It's now beyond. It's now beyond our culture and stuff. That's all I can say for now.
But when I'm with my daughter is called Shane.
Yeah.
I can just be throwing her up and down, hugging her.
That's
So probably
that's why we are struggling. We are throwing her up and down, throwing her up and down. Now, you see, we are saying, imagine throwing a tertiary student up and down.
Exactly.
Not going up and down, it's still remaining there. It confuses us. So I have actually a question for Pauline. Pauline, I'm saying...
Well, before you ask Pauline a question, I just want to
Okay.
ask the viewers. I'm trying to sell this pastor. I can auction him for any amount. Anyone who wants pastor ticket. But you can go ahead, ask.
I'm saying, why don't you unpack to us? Because you're using words like, it's not in our culture, you can see. We want to see with you what you are seeing. Yes, what? And he's come to this institution. And what does he do that makes you suspect it? Relationship, watch how now relation. There's more of personal relation. What do you see? Is it the mannerism? What is it?
Let me make it easier for you. The other day we were coming for reality table. So we were meeting the three of us
By the park.
By the park. I think it's what do you call that place?
NASA, let's just say NASA.
Yeah, NASA building.
Yeah.
So when we got there, Pastor Daro was already there. And then there was this man, I don't know whether he was a blesser or he was a father or
Well, the uncle.
he was an uncle. But this man, but I think because his car would tell that.
Yes.
And he was waiting patiently for someone to come.
Yes.
And when we saw the person who came, I think she was probably younger or
She was younger than Kuds, yes.
younger than Kuds.
Yes.
But the man was so
Yes,
frustrated that I've
yes.
been waiting for a long time.
Yes. And it was like a tactical move, like an army move, because he was waiting under the tree. When she appeared, she called. Then it was like, Roger, I'm in sight. And then she came to the tree, and it was like, you late. Why are you late? Then all of a sudden, there's look around. And then from nowhere, we saw drinks coming out.
Yeah.
And the next thing, she's sitting in the back seat, like front seat gone. It's finished, and it's a Sunday. So when we talk about this,
And she was carrying bags.
and she was carrying bags. Even the bag is a sign, the drink is a sign, the man's look is a
The
sign.
movement is a sign.
Well done.
So tell us, what are some of these things that you see on the campus that would probably give you that? I think I know someone who's dying to speak.
I know.
Over to you, Pauline.
Okay, so what I can say is like you have mentioned earlier, like the movements, matarisiro ako and stuff.
Show us those materials.
Come on, Pauline.
Maybe I'm not
The first
good
time
at.
on set.
Yes.
If it was Ruby, I know she'll be coming.
Okay.
But maybe a direct question. Don't tell us the campus where you're coming from, but do you have situations where you can actually see that, touchy kind of, where...
I think maybe, all jokes aside, I think it's not really so evident, but it's mannerisms that are common with lovers. Like, there's a way. Kwati, I mean, when my wife is laughing with me, there's a way. Don't be like that. But with her father, I don't ever see them going, no. There's no that gesture.
Yeah.
But now when you see a young person with that gesture with an elderly person, it may, at that point, draw your attention to, that doesn't look okay.
Yeah.
Now when there's a further, let's go to the heart. In normal African culture, the cake African culture, I'm not talking about the young African culture, okay, whatever. It was not normal, or it's not usual, to see an old man hugging a young girl, unless it was known by everyone that this is the daughter. There's a way.
And of course, when you hug,
They are up by the shoulders, it quite.
You have to then just slowly go down.
And it's normally one. Then there's that one where there's a coming together of the quantum regions, where the plate tectonics create a point of weakness. They just
Pauline, over to you before I cross over to Blue. I think you're now in the frame of mind. Maybe just one or two, and then we're crossing over to the City of Kings.
Yes, you have said earlier, like the type of hugs they give each other, or like the way they communicate, or you would see, I could tell these people, there is something between. Even the way they look at it.
Thank you, Pauline. It's so nice, grilling someone who's coming to reality table for the first time. Now let me go to one of the king who comes from the City of Kings. Mose, you are here. Let's talk about. Are you a blessed? I mean, but you're not married. You don't have the pocket.
He doesn't have a stomach.
He doesn't have a stomach. But let's cross over to you. I know you are in a tertiary institution. How does it feel to know that you're competing with someone who's driving a Jeep Cherokee?
Yes.
And they've got the fat pocket and. Take us through what happens in your institution.
It's quite similar to everywhere else. They park during lunchtime. And
You know the time.
I need a competition here. And I'm also looking for my fish. But then I'm realizing my father is also fishing on my fish pond. And I've learned certain ways to know.
We are sorry to bring these things up. Does it hurt you?
Yes, it does.
Your father was fishing.
Yes, fast, it hurts. So deep down there, it hurts. It's painful. It's painful.
I don't know why we're laughing. You know this is serious issue we're talking about.
And we're very serious right now.
Okay, Moses, go ahead.
But it's something that's very real. Like lunchtime, they come up the big cars. It's usually the Benz. I know my pastor loves the Benz, the big ones, the Mafomatics, those ones. They come, they sit. There's Discovery 6, there's the Discovery, and then there's other. I think Discovery 3. And then there's the BMWs, the BMW, then the Glamour S-Class, C-Class, those things you see around. And they come and they park at the car park, it's usually, and then you see what I call the beautiful lady. Like even these ones, when inspiration is looking, it will be saying, these are beautiful. You see them going to these places. And there's the young guys who are sitting at the terraces and we're seeing our meat getting bright there. But there's nothing much we can do about it. We just have to accept what's there and deal with it. And deal with it, yeah. And I like the way Kudzi said they bless in 2 ways. I think as we go on, that'll be, you'll find that really profound. It's something that's very true. They don't all have to have money. Some of them can come the 323, but the idea is that they are blessing.
I just have one question. What about the feet? Does it also come here?
The what?
The Honda feet.
Hey, feet, don't pin up. Zone, baby.
Moses.
Yes.
If I'm getting you correctly,
Yes,
there's a timetable in which these people operate.
exactly. You
So
get
we
it
know
right.
lunchtime.
Lunchtime.
Am I correct to say the phenomena is how that big car can have time to come to an institution where there's a high level of immaturity anyway, and have a proper conversation with like immature girls? Because when we're in varsity, really, it's not really like we're all mature, but how that car can fit itself there, and yet maybe if it was a Honda Fit and all these other small cars, when you are sitting at the terraces, what's going through your mind when that is going on?
I'm simply thinking somewhere out there there's a man who's not satisfied with his own person.
Maybe I didn't ask my question properly, Moses. You're now spiritualizing my answer. What's going through your head? What? He's in the car, she's in the car. What do you see? And you're talking to the boys. What's your conclusion?
The conclusion that she's been taken, you can see with the gets in the car, they greet with the kiss. Usually it's a kiss by the cheek. You don't greet your father with the kiss on the cheek. So it's obviously no. And just sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, I've had some of my friends go like one day, and I knew, guys, I just want someone to feel the same pain I'm feeling right now. So I'll also do it later on in life. You get instances where you're sitting there, guys. I remember one friend who came to us crying because we saw his girlfriend go there, and he was in tears.
Wait. What are you saying?
I'm saying it's a painful experience watching it.
She was a girlfriend already?
Yes, she was a girlfriend.
This boy who was at school?
Yes. And this guy was doing his best. His Valentine's approaching like this. He was also putting his eggs in a row. only to realize
That's the
that
problem.
there's a
Valentine's
chicken in the
coming
way.
and is collecting Easter eggs.
Yes.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, so it's a painful experience, yes, but it is a reality. It is a fact that they bless in ways we cannot bless, and yeah, it's just how life is.
Coming to that question, they can bless in ways that we are not able to bless. Kuzi had actually mentioned that they, we were talking about the financial muscle, and then you told us that, there are so many ways that they can actually bless, so that we can also understand in what forms, in what ways can the blessers bless the blessees.
Okay. Now you might be wondering or thinking, what if Moses, for example, has the same pains, probably eats a large portion of salad for the next 6 months and has the pot belly, and then has a big or fat pocket, can he still qualify to be a blesser?
Definitely.
Or will his girlfriend still be satisfied? No, she won't. So with a blesser, it has
emphatic no.
Yes, he won't
That's
be a
me what
blesser. So you can take those characteristics and put them on a young man, but he will still not qualify to be a blesser, even if he decides to marry.
Okay.
So those are just characteristics that we have seen in the.
I think, Kudzi, you are clouding the point by quickly summarizing it. Why is it so impossible that the same Moses, same stomach, same fat, what is he missing? That's the blesser has.
Security.
Security?
Yes.
I mean, why don't you just get a security guard? If you really want security, faucet, safeguard. If you really, in fact, you know what I'm saying?
Nowadays there are these
if you really need security, take a security guard.
But no. So the thing is, a married man has experience. I'll give an example of.
Last week we spoke about we were talking about sex. I know you were following, and Pastor Dickett mentioned perfect practice
makes perfect.
Makes perfect. Is it the kind of experience that we're talking about here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and then experience in the sense that you can actually believe the assurance a married man who qualifies to be a blesser gives you than believing the assurance that your boyfriend who has the same characteristic gives you.
You are saying because he's already taking care of a family,
yes,
there's evidence to his word.
Yes.
So when he says, I'll be there too,
yes,
he'll be there too.
He'll be there too. And because he's getting something and you're receiving something, it's a mutual relationship.
What are you getting? What are you getting?
You're getting security, you're getting money. So money, you can say you can get money anyway. Yes, money is just like the cherry on top. But that security that he will constantly and efficiently be there for me when I need him because I'm giving him sex. I'm giving him my time. It's not easy banking a lecture at university. So you're sacrificing your time, you're sacrificing your degree, such that even if you don't then graduate, you still have that assurance that this guy has the potential to take care of me after school.
But Pastor Dickett, allow me to just interject there.
Please go ahead, Moses.
There's something one as a young man you can't compete with. You and Pastor have been married for a while now, huh?
No. Moses,
wait.
You see, this is why we have no networking below.
No.
Ivan has been married for a long time. I have been married just now.
But either way, there is you have familiarized yourself with women such that you kind of know the basic mindset and the biology behind it. Okay. And that I, at my age, even if I'm married, my maturity and certain habits as a young man will not allow me to gain that experience. So first of all, that's the experience gap that's being talked about there. Mm-hmm. That the handling of your romance and my romance are two different things.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a big factor that puts me outside the road. The second thing I would like also to say is, I like the statement, it's not easy to bank a lecture. So I just want us to do a little bit of thinking together here. This person is banking lectures, but still graduates with a distinction degree. So try to do the maths of how to these things.
Subliminally, you're bringing something, Mukati.
I hear what he's saying.
Are you hearing what the young man is saying?
But actually, I think I can simply say the institution I came from because I'm a pastor. I mean, it's pretty obvious where it's always.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that you knew were never in lectures.
I know.
You people knew that they never saw the day of the light of day.
Yeah.
But they'll still get a passing grade. And only girls.
What?
Just make one. Pauline, let me come
Before we go to Pauline, it's not
wait,
safe
wait,
to go to
wait,
Pauline.
I know you are about. Wait, let me go to Pauline. Pauline, just a quick question. Is it possible that in your institution, or probably in your class, wherever you are, there are people that you know don't attend lectures? You actually know they have nothing that they really know about the subject matter, but sometimes they've got better grades than you, maybe because they've got better features and they have got good relations with the lecturers. Do you have something of that nature coming about? Because I think that's what Moses is insinuating. I'm coming to you, Pastor Diggins.
Not really. I don't have like those kind of people. Well, they can bank lectures, right? But they can do discussions. You would see them there. You would see them in the library. But sometimes you don't know every movement of every person. But like for the relationship with lectures.
Are those extra lessons? Extra lessons.
Okay.
Whether they're doing extra lessons,
Please don't call it Pauline.
Okay, I'm coming back to you, sir.
Let's go back to what Moses was saying. Moses is saying something but not saying anything.
No.
He's saying, how is it possible that me, I'm in class 24/7, I'm getting a B and I've studied.
Yeah.
You are being blessed. Okay, maybe B, blessed, okay. Maybe you don't study. How is it possible? Can I, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Can I ask, is it possible to get a trade, sex for grade?
Yeah, it is.
Eh?
Yes.
What do you mean? Are you saying, are you saying the timing there doesn't matter?
No.
The
The time has changed.
No, remember, she said, sometimes you might not have a fat pocket, but if you've got a bag of grades, man, you can trade, you can give grades, and then, you also become a blessing.
So, Kwati, where have we been all this time? I'm saying, there's this guy with money. He's a clear blesser, he's a financial blesser, and a time blesser that's been given time, and is being serviced. Like a Honda Fit, after 5,000 Ks is being serviced. Then there's this new one that has come in, a skinny one. He's got nothing, he walks to school, but the girl is graduating, so he can fail. So is it possible that some girls don't really want blessers, but they are being initiated and forced into this blesser thing by a lecturer who won't let her graduate because he keeps on failing until he says, if you want to pass, give me.
Yeah. We've got situations like that. Actually, those are the most occurring situations for girls in universities. So it's in two ways. We have Kudzai who has a blesser who banks lectures, but still wants to graduate, right? So now she doesn't have continuous assessment, but something we call continuous assessment. So in as much as you pass your exam but you don't have continuous assessment, it's like you cheated. So you have to have at least 50% of that and 50% of your exam to show that during the semester you are attending lectures. But now, since you have weighed your options and seen that it's better for me to bank lectures and gain money, you still have to pass your degree. So now you have to use another evil route or way of getting your degree.
So now blessers coming. You were saying one blesser, one. You can have two blessers.
It seems
one who's blessing the grade,
blesser square,
and then the other one who's blessing the.
So you have a square. So I'm asking this. So you're saying this girl is dating a cheating man in a cheating way,
yes,
and cheats for her exam.
Yes.
How does she cheat work?
Now.
We'll cross the river when we get there. That's the answer.
It's troubling me. So when she graduates, what happens after that? Does she go to work? Does she know what she's doing at work?
So, my pastor.
Or even at work,
that's what I was
she dates the lineup.
Exactly, for her to get to a good position. I have a lot of close people I know who do that. Who did that.
Who sleep their way to the top?
Yeah.
Sleep their way to the top.
So Kudzi, why I'm asking you these questions and why I keep on bringing it up like this is so that you understand that you can't call, men are dogs, so says the bone. Men are dogs. but the bone desires to be eaten. So there are things that you must understand, that blessers would never exist if the blessee wasn't volunteering. Then there are those who are being forced into a situation. I want to go into another one. I don't know, please don't tell me there's another blesser for this. Is it possible that also our parents are causing us to have blessers? By not giving us enough, by sending us to school without, is it possible?
Yes.
Well, before Kuzi comes in, we need to take a break, but I want, since Kuzi is going to be here, I just want Moses and Pauline maybe to give us, then we want to get another view from Kuda and so I'll just be straight to you, Pauline. One, I remember when I was at school at Solusi, one girl, it was not like a counseling session, but we were talking with a couple of friends. So she sort of like expressed a situation to say, you know what, you must be thankful because your parents have sent you here with your tuition and your, let me say, TAC or whatever it is. At Solusi, there's this common saying that you do 0, 1, 0, in other words, you don't have a meal in the morning, you have one in the afternoon, you don't have another one in the evening. 0, 1, 0, sometimes 0, 0, 1, sometimes 0, 0, 0, 0. So she says, because people are just being open. So why? Sometimes you are forced to get into a relationship either with a student or even with or whatever it is that we're talking about. Because when I come to school, I'm put in a room with Kuzi, who has come from home. She was driven probably by her parents.
She's driving.
Or she's driving. She has everything that she needs, and she can simply, and then things come. But for me, when my parents sent me, they sent me with a half fees, tuition. They said, when you get to school, see what you can do. Do we have situations like that where you've got students who probably never really wanted a blesser, so to speak, but the situation, the standard, the competition will probably force them to look for these blessers, where the boy then looks for the dog. I like that thing. Over to you, Pauline.
Okay, I can say yes. There are so many situations when a girl will be forced to get into that. Maybe you see you don't have enough food, even the tuition, everything. But I always say, sometimes we have to know your background. It's not all about peer pressure, that my roommate is getting this and this, so I have to. We have different opportunities. That's all I can say. Or we came from different backgrounds. So if you understand your background, really, I think you would be able to manage this peer pressure.
So definitely you are saying there are people who are forced into this situation,
yes,
maybe because of their backgrounds,
yes,
or they become victim of their own circumstances.
Yeah.
Are you saying some are coming from really poor families, and they're left with no choice?
Yes, but some that's all I can say. Some are really coming from very poor backgrounds. Maybe they can only afford to pay tuition, then the rest, you say, was 1 year. But nevertheless, I always say you should know your background and know, my roommate is getting this and this just because Vanas or their parents, they can afford that, but mine, they cannot afford that. It's always a choice. That's all what I always believe it. It's a choice to do this, because money will never be enough for a person. I cannot say, this time I'm contented with this man. I always want more and more and more. So you have to have or I can say my principles or something that can guide you along the way. Since my roommate is getting this and I'm not getting this, but I can still strive to get this. But though there are some situations that you are now forced to do this because maybe you're about to finish your degree and your parents just passed away, or they said, we can't afford to pay tuition anymore.
Wow. By the way, I like the way that you have actually summarized to say, even though this happens, but you must remain who you are.
You have a choice.
The Mawani I'm seeing from what you're saying is, I think it's real. We can't underplay the feeling that this girl, same with you, same area, you guys came from the same place. She's now rolling out an iPhone 12 Pro Max, 500 gig, MacBook, iPad 2020. She's got iPhone 6 smartwatch, and she's got that perfume, and you are divided by tiles.
Can I just say something? It's a light moment. She's got an iPhone, iPod, iPad. The only eye you have is an eye, you know.
and you are trying your best to be that Christian girl. You know what I mean? You are trying. She's eating cervita, and you are eating. You're not eating. You know what I mean?
You when just say cervita. So people say, when you say that,
I'm telling you. And in your days in school, you were having more right.
That's what I
I want to pass by.
That's another thing.
We once had a student who, it was a break between lectures. He decided, let me quickly have what? Movite. The problem with Movite, we don't make it nicely, it becomes cement. So he was an old man, so we couldn't laugh at him like in public. That was before I came. So when we got there, he quickly whipped up his thing and we were going for a Hebrew lecture. And then I think he ate it fast, and then the thing started cementing on the way down. So I think he felt like he was really dying, and he was having those, those movie moments where, so when I was passing by, I see this guy like, and I was young, and I just thought, what do I tell your parents? What do I tell your children? Did you write it down somewhere? For us, it was like, Movite was a poor man's, a pastoral type. There were students who had conflict, who had cervita. Pastors had Movite, because Movite pushed mileage. So imagine you are, and pastors could share rooms with non-pastors. Yeah. Imagine what you have a room with this non, and it's telling you, blessers don't only come as male. They I don't know what they call them, baby mamas, sugar mamas, whatever mama. She can deliver for you. You should be kept enough. See, you think that married men can keep a young girl? A married wife can keep a young girl. Because she's generally loving and caring, and she can keep, Baba. Not that I've gone through it, I'm just saying, the married woman. She will take care meticulously. She will check up on you like a child.
I think I need a break.
Come on.
Okay, guys, before we go for the break, you know the way I'm so laughing at this topic and the way it's so serious, I just can't connect the two. It's like coming from a funeral and you're going to a wedding. Moses, over to you, and then conclude the session for us. When we come back, Ruby and Kuda will just give us their experiences as we learn more and more about how we can do this leg management. Over to you, Moses.
My conclusion of the matter was, at first I wanted to bring out the case where this thing ends up becoming a habit. At first it was a small choice, but this small choice has grown to be a habit that becomes an addiction. That becomes hard to control. I think you guys will look into that later on. And the second one is, I think the idea of you always having a principle, I think it's something that's quite true now, given the fact that there are now loans and all that, even though they will hit you in front when you're not working. You can still stick to your principles and still get tuition paid without really having to go through all that burden. What I wanted to touch upon is that let us not be one-sided. Leg management is also with guys who need to control their third leg. That's something that's actually real and that's actually true right there. Yeah. Where guys are playing with each other's egos to such an extent where one looks for, decides to become, to have. I had a friend of mine who learned, not in Bulawayo, but he learned something else. So he came to Bulawayo and he was visiting. And we were all like, it was a get together. And we were all only guys and we were talking about the things we've seen in varsity. And one guy goes like, I had an experience with a baby mom. Everyone went quiet and, what's up, bro? And he tells you, we went out, we went for the food. It was the experience was amazing. As Dikar was saying, I was being treated well. I was enjoying the moment. Even a few times they called me to the dance club. I enjoyed the groove. I was enjoying the things. But then came a time where I wanted to go back home. And I'm like, I want to go home. The time has come for me to go home now. And they went like, you thought you were enjoying all this for free. And he eventually had to pay back services for service. And all I'm saying is, it's two ways. both parties need to control their legs. It's both parties that need to learn a certain standard. We cannot expect one to hold up a standard and the other one be immoral in their ways.
In your opinion, is this a form of prostitution?
Definitely. There's no difference. It's just that we're not looking for money directly now, but we're just...
If you had to put a collar to this type of work, would it be blue collar or white collar?
Blue collar.
This is blue collar.
Blue collar.
What would white collar look like?
White collar would probably be the one that ends up with without any physical contact.
So, well, so much to talk about. Wow. Thank you, Pauline and Moses, for enlightening us to understand what goes. But one thing that I've come to get as we come to the end of the first segment is when we talk about leg management, it's not only about the girls, even the boys, we still have to manage that well. Yeah. Sit back, relax. We're going to have Kuda and Rumbi as we come to the conclusion of our discussion today. We're talking about blessers.
I'm a blesser.
I'm a blesser. Okay, he's correcting me, Pastor Deacon, but okay, I'm a blesser. See you after the break. God bless you.
The Sabbath is the day that the Lord made for you and me to rest in and worship the King. The Sabbath is the day that the Lord made for you and me to rest in and praise the Creator. He made the heavens and the earth and the sea. He created all the living things that crawl the earth. He made the sun and the moon and the mountains, the visible and all that is invisible. The Sabbath is a day where you and I have holy convocation and meet with believers. The Sabbath is a day made for man, so we rest from all our labors that make us weary. He made the heavens and the earth and the sea. He created all the living things that crawl the earth. He made the sun and the moon and the mountains, the visible and all that is invisible. Day one, let there be light. Day two, He made the sky and the land. Day three, the trees, the flowers, and the grass. Day four, the stars and the moon and the sky. Day five, He made the fish and the birds. Day six, He made Adam and Eve. Day seven, stop.
Welcome back to Reality Table, and as we are back, we've got the Rumbi. She is now Pastor Deacon's president of the
comment section. President of the comment section.
Of the comment section.
President of the CS.
CS comment section, and of course we've got Kuda from Mushamkuru, the big city. Today we're just going to do something unconventional. We're going to start right with you, Kuda. Just shoot from anywhere. We are talking about leg management, and today we're talking I'm a blesser. Give us your short.
Okay, here it goes. When I was in college, I realized that most of the guys did not tangle or did not have a very good relationship with their lecturers. And that is in comparison with the girls. The girls were very much in good relations with their lecturers. And it was almost a similar situation when it came to church. Most of the elders, seems like when they really wanted that position to be leaders of the youth, they would be aligned to the girls rather than the guys. So my question is...
Why did I even give you to shoot from any direction? I think I already know where Kuda is going. But anyway, let's hear.
Yeah, considering the fact that we're talking about armor blazers, my question is, now that it doesn't end at college or in schools, but it seems like it is also encroached into our church. We have elders that we know that are...
Be careful.
Who have their eyes on the damsels. The damsels which we intend to also have as our wives. So my question is, aren't these elders also blessers?
Let me take it to Kudzi.
I think only Kudzi.
You know, on reality tables, sometimes you can be real, but if you also get real, you must also be worried about your job. So you and I will be quite.
Yes, this is why we're saying maybe Kudzi can assist us. To us, this is just a rumor we've never heard of.
Can you hear what? I don't know. Is it true?
Yes, it's true.
Wait, Kudzi. What's true? Don't just say yes to everything. What is true?
What is true?
What's true is that elders are potential blessers.
Okay, I like the word potential. At least they are not.
They are not
They are
connected yet.
potential blesser carriers, in the sense that they're just hiding behind the title elder. But given that they were not elders in church, or given that that title could be set aside for a while, we could actually call them blesser. So blesser is the title.
Yeah. I've got it.
Wait, because you can't say those things and keep quiet. You are saying bring a blesser as an office.
Yeah.
Like being a husband. Bring a blesser as an official thing.
Yes.
So you can be a blesser Pastor Ivan.
Yes.
It sounds good. Pastor Blesser Ivan. Or blesser Pastor Ivan.
No, it doesn't sound good. Imagine blesser Pastor Ticket. I think it comes out nice. Ticket, look at. I mean, but you know, I want to take Kuda's question a little bit serious. Are you suggesting that it could be that we've got a lot of elders in the church who are actually, because Kuda is like saying, even in church we're competing with the pastors and the elders for our potential wives.
Yes, that's true.
You are saying, hey, now this is scary now. You are saying me as your pastor, and Kuda, we are all in my district. Kuda is asking you out. You know what I almost said? I almost said Kuda is chaffing me, that's why. I just told it. Kuda is asking you out, and he's made it. But Kuda's got nothing. And I'm working, and I've got a little excess money, and I'm married. Kuda is saying that I then go for Kudzi, who's already been gotten. And I'm preaching, and young people must look and marry. But I'm eating where the brother has caught.
Yes, it's happening.
So his coat is carpenter. I've got my brim at home. I'm not referring to the size of, I'm saying, I've got my, you hear what I'm saying? I've got my person here. And this one is just called a carpenter. My mouth is used of eating brim. What did I do to that carpenter? I'm used to providing for brim. What about the carpenter? It means it's nothing. But to Kuda, that carpenter is all he has.
Yes.
I'm always reminded of the story of David and Uri. But anyway, that's not what we are discussing. Let's cross over.
No, but I think it's important that you state what did David do?
Can I make it more intense?
And now we say,
Honestly, because
we are here because of you. Right now, because of your
Kuda, you are making reality tables.
Yes.
More real and
Yes.
more, okay.
We have elders who seem to have, being used with the Holy Spirit to be good sponsors for the youth, yet their intention is to fish one or two. We have brides, and then an elder will just simply tell us, don't worry, you guys, don't bring in anything. I'll sponsor everything. Yet they are ill-intended. Tell us, what do we do?
Can you put that in Shona? It's like in English, you're not capturing what you're saying. I can hear it in Shona, but I want you to say it in Shona. Maybe just
Okay, let me put it to vernacular. Tinawo maelder mchechi. Vanenge vachita kunge vanhu vaMwari, vanenge vachita kunge vanhu vane tsiye nyoro, vachitosponza maprograms mamwe vachitoti don't worry maite ese ndakubhadharirai half, vachitorongedzera vana vamwe vachitovaperekedza. But at the end of the day, you tend to realize that they are ill-intended. Pane one or two vakatotageta vavari kutozofisha at the end of the day.
I think this only happens in Zimbabwe. In UK, that doesn't
I
happen.
don't think in UK that happens.
Let's check with Rumi.
Because I think Rumi will refuse. Rumi will say no. No.
Let's hear from Rumi.
What do I think? I'm not saying.
No, don't tell about it.
What do I know?
Reality table.
We're talking about the whole of UK. We're not talking about my church. That's a blanket statement.
Okay.
And I want to say it like this. Everywhere you go in every organization, not just a church, when one person has power and another person has less power, there's always an abuse of power. Someone's bound to abuse the power that they have. And this is what it is. Earlier they were talking about lecturers and students. A lecturer has power. In the same way an elder has power, this elder may have taught me how to, I don't know, taught me in Pathfinders, taught me in Sabbath school. I look up to them in a certain way. I will respect them. So when they buy me, I don't know, buvos, or when they have a braai for me, I respect them. And if they say to me, come, let's go and talk over there, you respect that. You assume, like Kuda said, the ill intentions. You don't assume that that's the way it will go. You have the perception that everyone is out to help you. So when the elder or whoever at church, it doesn't have to be an elder, it could be a deacon, it could be someone in the praise team that's older, could send you a message and say, hey, what's your number, send you a Facebook message. You don't think to yourself that this person is targeting me. You don't think that. You think this person, maybe we could have it, they have something to teach me and something else. There's actually there's actually a film on Netflix I watched a few weeks ago that had this scenario where this girl, I'm not saying this is what happens, this girl claimed rape, and no one, it was hard to believe because the lecturer had such status. And I think that happens in every organization when someone else has a good reputation and you're just at the beginning, you're young, and the truth is you're ignorant. So you're not ignorant in the way that you're stupid. You're ignorant instead of in terms of you don't know any better. You're vulnerable. That's why they say children are vulnerable, because we're like young people, especially they can be vulnerable because of our lack of knowledge. So the question, does it happen in the UK? It happens everywhere in the world.
Rumi, is vulnerability an aphrodisiac?
I think to people that are manipulative, it is. It is. You want to exploit people when you know that there's someone who will do something because you said it. Can I say something? There's a lot of, no disrespect, a lot of Zimbabwean mothers and aunties and these people, Adventists, not Adventists, that tell their sons, date someone who's much younger than you so that they will listen to you, so that they will respect you. And in my head it's like, what message are you trying to give to your children? What message is that these young children will respect you, so someone who disagrees with you is not respecting you? I think that it's something that's in our culture that borderlines on actually, when these people say, when certain people say something to you, you must listen, and to question it is bad, when sometimes questioning things is not bad.
Now, this has put us in a spotlight, Simon.
No, you are the pastor here, I'm just the host. It puts you on the spotlight.
You see, this very act has confused the young people. The young people who are speaking right now are not really saying what they're saying, but an experience that resonates with them has just been opened right now. There's nothing as confusing. In fact, I read one quotation, I'm not sure where from. I remember I read it. It says, when a pastor disappoints a young damsel, she doesn't feel disappointed by the pastor. She feels God has let her down.
Yeah,
That's true.
So my action begins to make the young person blame God, begins to make the young person doubt marriage, begins to make the young person see that it's all the same anyway. Bless her in church, bless her outside is all the same. Being a BNTM is all the same. These small things that we are trying to bring out here on the reality table in the topic I'm a blessed. Yes, we're laughing about it, but when it happens, it's as intense as it happens. There are three types of people. There are those who want it to happen. There are those who have been forced for it to happen. There are those who make it happen. So all these wolves are here. And we must talk about it, because even in the church it's there. There are young people who don't know where to go to because we don't talk about it because the pastor is so sacred that the pastor could never have done that. What if the pastor did? The elder could never have done that. What if the elder did? The youth leader, never. What if he did? And all these small things we are trying to bring out here are people dying inside. And I know in the comment section someone will say, really, that's how it is. The church is like this. Be careful. It's not the church.
Yes.
The church is not made up of bricks. The church is made up of people. They are broken from the time they leave their house. And they come and break some more at church. So what if you are broken and I'm broken? We meet at church, we are two broken people.
You know, there's a common statement that says, hurt people, help people.
Exactly.
You know, so what happens is, I just want to get into Kuda's mind. You know, you are there as a young person, you see Kudzi there, you're like, Kudzi's leg. And then Pastor Ivan comes.
And he preaches, yes.
And
You've been doing that for many years.
And then, you know, he's hosting the reality table and everything. Eventually, he's
wearing a different face shield from everyone else. I mean, we are wearing the cheap ones.
You just have to say that.
I'm saying, we were wearing the cheap ones, you were wearing the real deal. So, and then you got glasses on top.
So, what eventually happens is, I'm just trying to fast forward later on. So when Kuda gets to a stage where Pastor Ivan was, he is most likely to do what Pastor Ivan did.
Because it worked.
Because it kind of worked.
Okay, I'm shocked. But with elders or with deacons or with people in the church, I always tell my parents that I believe munu vanotadza. We're human, we fail, we are prone to err. But for people who hold titles or who have been ordained like elders, deacons, and pastors, I feel there's a certain level of kuzvibata kwavanofana kuita. Hatisikuramba kuti mapastor haiswi pamiti.
You know, there's a pastor who used to say, a pastor is a people, you know.
But my pastors nowadays, munhu, but munhu anotariswa nevanhu vakawanda. You see kuti uzonzwa kuti pastor Gwatiringa vakomita adultery nevakadzi 20.
But one is right.
One has it right, whether 1 or 20, it's just the same thing. But you're trying to look and see, Pastor Gwatiringa has always been there to encourage us as young people. He's always been there in children's ministries. Pastor Katusha has always been there. He was my partner and the leader. But what has gotten to the extent of him falling into the sin? Because Christ gives you a chance to shun away from sin, right? But it's because of our human error and sin that then pushes us. But it's just kissing, you know. It starts small. But as an elder, as a deacon, as a pastor, you hold a certain level of position in the church, such that if you fall, you have killed so many marriages, you have killed so many young people. So I feel
when you're talking about titles, pastors, elders, deacons are all ordained titles. Father and mother are not titles. Husband and wife are offices. A woman makes you a husband, and a man makes you a wife. Those are offices. Being a father and mother are duties. So when you leave your house, and I'm a man married with children or without children, I have a responsibility to my wife. Guess what? I'm ordained to be the father, the priest of the house. So if a blesser doesn't go to church and is an atheist, the reason why we're talking about him right now, if it wasn't that he was married and had all these things, we'd call him a player. We're not talking about players today, they're too small. We're talking about blessers who are using family resources, diverting funds, defrauding the home of sexual conduct. You see, because if you're eating outside, and these young girls are fresh, I'm saying, why would you worry about sadza and mrio when there's this way of eating sadza and mrio with this and that?
You know, remember Bata was talking about a plate with 7 colors.
This is what I'm saying. So,
but Pastor Deacon, I want to cross over to I just want to just have this line just a little bit clear, and then we'll come to you, Kuda. Is it always the the pastors, the elders, or the ones in the ordained office preying on the young girls or the young boys? Or probably there's also a part that the young people are, because you might just take a look at it and say, it is the blessers who have a problem. Or could it be that it's a worm on a hook that has made the blesser go and check the fish? Ruby, I don't know if you or maybe you want to actually make it.
Before you give to Ruby, let me give a comment. I want to ask Ruby also, was I a victim? One time I was week number 1 of ministry. In week number 1 of ministry, this is what happened to me. A young lady, a very beautiful young lady.
How come you always meet me?
I don't know, it was like, she was like, she was, she was there. What? I was there. She invited me over to come and pray for her. When I got to the door, those days I was so innocent, like very innocent. Now I don't think I'm as innocent as I was those days. She was wearing a night. She had asked me to come pray. She was wearing a night and there was no one in the house. I got in and I sat down. While wearing the night, I prayed. I know, I prayed and I went. I couldn't get it. I didn't get it. That Sabbath, this was on like during the week, the Sabbath, I preached at those one church. And I want to tell you, the ladies in the front sat like this. I thought I didn't see nicely until I saw again and again and again. Every time I made a point.
Did you finish the sermon?
Every time I made a point, it was there. I tried to look east and look west, but every time I made a point, it was there. I got home and I felt like, oh, wretched man that I am. So I want to ask you, was I a victim?
Over to you.
Were you a victim, Pastor? God will never give you more than you can bear.
Don't spiritualize.
I want to let me go to the host, not the pastor, the host question about the people being the women being blessed. So I think there's two things going on here. So the first one is a lot of us as women, we believe our sexuality and our bodies is currency. So then we use it to get what we want, whether it's power.
Wait, what did you say?
And I think this may be for many different reasons. Maybe the way we are socialized. You know, you see an advert for cereal, you see a naked woman. Like, it doesn't make sense. Perfume, women naked, all these things. So we see it as to kind of manipulate and get what we want. I don't know why this is, but this is, if we're honest, a lot of us, that's what we do. And then, on the other hand, this is not an excuse, but I think it's context. A lot of us have absent fathers. A lot of our fathers, I'm just going to be frank, a lot of our fathers, they are friends, are peers, and you think, well, what example is that to me? Well, I don't know any better. If that's what I see, and that's what I've known from a young age, that's what I'll follow. And I'm not a parent, so I'm not saying parenting is easy. I'm just saying that it's what we do unconsciously is to mimic what our parents have done. It's very hard to say. I think it's heartbreaking when we realize our parents are at fault and, you know, copying them is something wrong. So that's just a bit of context to what may have happened to Pastor in terms of, you know, come and pray for me in my 90. I think, Pastor, that's amazing that you stayed strong, but who knows what the context of the woman was? Who was the pastor before you? Are you the first pastor that's prayed for her? Maybe last time she asked a pastor to pray for her and she was, you know, in her Dorcas outfit. And he was saying, what are you wearing? You don't, what is her context? We don't know. So maybe she could have been taken aback that the pastor actually prayed for me this time. So we don't know. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying in everything, there's context.
Well, you just say it was my fault.
No, I'm not saying this.
Oh, by the way, when I come over, please be waiting alone.
Just at that moment, the way you're so frank, God will call you, and will be frank wherever you see. Let me cross over to Wisham Kuda. You are the one who started this, yeah. Bring us close home.
Oh yeah, I think that not only those who hold those titles as elders and pastors in church, even older folks in the church, who don't have those titles, but they have a very loaded pocket. You know, they can easily manipulate the youth, the girls. And this is how they can easily do it, because they are older. They can easily get access to the numbers of the girls, because the girls would ignorantly think that Mununguru, what could be, what could go wrong, you know. Imagine an older folk you know, you have that trust that you have, and then from there the older folks, they would pursue. I wanted to turn it over and say even older mothers or older ladies in church, I would like to believe that they also have that tendency of trying to, you know, get these younger guys in church. You would be a singer, you'd be a preacher, very active in church, and then
Okay, let me be the first one to say we are so appreciative of the way that you sing, preach, and do activities. I'm just, you know, I'm a youth director in your conference. I'm just saying, you see what you're doing, and may the Lord bless you, and may the Lord keep you. Pastor Deacon, we want to bring this to a close. I know we probably not have enough time to discuss these things. Now, is it, you know, the colloquial language we call them, I'm a blessed. Is it really a blessing? Is it really a blessing? I mean, even if you're getting the money, the financial benefit, even if you're getting whatever it is that people would say, oh, they really want it this, but is it really, really a blessing? I know we have wanted more time to discuss this, but looking at our time, I want to say now, can we really call them blessed? And can this really be a blessing? Could it be that we're almost inviting a curse in our families, and it would affect the generations to come? And that I want you to then sum it up on a theological aspect of it, and then give us take home. One for us parents, and I want you to differentiate the two. I'm a parent, I'm also in a ordained office as a pastor. You are the same. We've got elders, deacons, and Kuda says there are others who might not have the ordained office, but they have an ordained pocket. You know what I'm talking about. We're also talking about the young people themselves. Say, hey, sometimes it's not about because the pastors, the blessers are coming to us. Maybe we're giving them a reason for us to follow us and say, okay, I think there I can actually bless and deal, of course. But I would want you to then wrap it up and say, is it really a blessing as we come to the conclusion of this beautiful discussion?
You know, by mistake, one day I was added onto an Adventist group with Adventist women. And one day they were talking about the size of the reproductive system of one of the youth in the church. Now I was pseudo there. So no one knew I was there. That's why you see I'm called Deacon. She was I'm not, you're not going to see me called Pastor Darren or Pastor Katusha. I'm not old. So no one knew who Deacon was. So I never commented, I never said anything because I was put there by mistake. I didn't even know what group it was. That one day I knew what group it was because I knew the person they were talking about. And one statement was, that guy is big. Now what crossed my mind was, I'm as serious as a heart attack. So the married women started commenting. They say, I never. So Sabbath came. I exited the group. Sabbath came. The women were looking at the guy funny. Ivan, I'm not telling you a superstitious story or a story that's that side. I'm not giving you names, of course. I'm not telling you which churches, of course. I'm saying they were looking at the brother funny. Such that the brother was wondering with me today. Meaning, someone single had tasted the fruits of the Spirit. Meaning, the brother had been distributing the fruits of the Spirit as Father Chris said it was. Meaning, the conversation which happened in private had caused the eyes to look upon this one as a future temptation because we want to desire what others have been through. But I've committed in marriage, but that doesn't matter right now because we're still seeing the temptation of it. Let's ask David. He was supposed to be at war. He had the right to walk around his palace. They had the right to bath because they were not supposed to be men. There were no men there. They're not supposed to be there. Yes, you stay here, but you're supposed to be at war. Don't mix occasion. They're supposed to be at school getting a degree, but now you've got a man to finance a degree. That's why God gave you parents. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying choose your sin and own your sin. When you now get whatever you get, call yourself by the rightful name. Don't call yourself a student when you're like a wife on a girlfriend tent. You want to benefit wifely, but you're a girlfriend. You have no anyway. David called his faithful brother in Christ's wife, and the own child, the guy child, his friend's wife. And who are you, Mukati, to think that me and you who are best homies, I can't chow your wife? It takes Jesus to settle in me, to realize that she loves you, and I will not cause her to be a temptation against you. Because marriage is not clear. All these men are coming from homes where something's wrong. Something is wrong. Theologically, we find David calling this guy from war to come and give him a letter with his own death. But before that, you see, the devil is the same. He then says, don't you want to sleep with your wife? Like a man has to be asked to sleep. If I want to sleep with my wife, I don't need an invitation. I just go and tap. And then she knows what's happening. And then she knows. But he had to invite. But now when the man says, how can I do this with my men? And here's the problem. The one who's not king knows the principle from his friendship with the king. But the king has lost his principle. So the elder who's ordained has lost his ordination in his action. The one who's not ordained is saying, but how can you do this? You're an elder. We put that aside. So now we find ourselves with this guy carrying a letter because of his faithfulness to their friendship. He carries a letter that says, put him in the front line. Because you are so, me and you are so tight. I can leave you with my wife only to find out that I've left the man with the... Then he dies. After his death, my guy, the same guy, the wife is pregnant. God doesn't keep silent. We know the story. He sends that guy to come and tell him, and that's the man. You know the story. Ivan, the baby does not live.
Yeah.
The child of sin does not live. If the man is HIV positive and you have been giving him the goods, you will be HIV positive, no matter how prayerful you are.
In the fruits there.
You get what I'm trying to say? If the man is caught and you are caught, you will break that home and everyone will hate you. Don't expect us to now come to say, she fell, a righteous man falls 7 times, you broke her home. That was put in Holy Maximum. Let's talk about the children of David. Absalom, everyone. What chaos, raping, this and
killing each other.
I mean.
So it was not even a blessing.
No, it became a curse down the line. It could only be seen down the line, and David understood it. David writes that song, a man of my own heart, yes. He's writing God. But the curse goes down the line until that guy says, I'm in love with my brother, Absalom's sister. You know when you are sinning, you distance, come on. You put that distance, you say, surely, who's not doing it? It comes down the line, generation after generation. And that is why sometimes we are cursed and we don't know why. Because daddy and mommy must have done something. I'm not saying that it's all the time. I'm just saying, well, in this context, somewhere along the line, the church is cursed because someone is holding the cursed thing. And the fish rots on the top of the head. How I wish that even when we're talking, we're laughing and what, it's not a funny thing. But we were trying to make the conversation easier. We have victims in our churches. We have perpetrators in our churches. We have people, friends, family everywhere. They may not even be at varsity. They may even be they may be bringing salaries brought from sleeping with the boss. They may be bringing a cursed staff to feed the children. So, in looking at this thing spiritually, the spirit of, in fact, can I just read what the quotation that is given here? I want to read it so that you understand it. We're talking to the young people. It says, the worldly youth love of society and pleasure becomes an absorbing passion. To dress, to visit, to indulge in appetite and passions and to whirl through around the social dissipation appear to be the great end of existence. They are unhappy if left in solitude. Their chief desire is to be admired and flattered and flirted, and to make a sensation in society. And when this desire is not gratified, life seems unendurable. Those who love society frequently in this trait, it becomes overruling passion, and it is difficult for them to read upon the word of God. What I want you to understand is, it takes $20 US to take the virginity of someone. Don't ask me how I know. Do the math.
Even less.
Pizza, Tuesday, $6. How much fuel do you really need? 4 US.
Yeah.
And the base is always donated by the boy. And you need money for her to go back, give a young 10 US, $20. And you take a virginity that someone is going to have a whole wedding for. Spend thousands and deprive himself of breaking your virginity because he is saying, let the Lord have his way. And that is grace and mercy. When you find yourself having lost virginity and someone wants to marry you still, know that God died on the cross. Don't ask foolish questions like, is really virginity virtue? And what is virginity? That's witchcraft. There are people who don't deserve to have been married here, who have been married, who have been through schools, whose marketing trend was leg. They would give leg at pump price, but they are married today with children. There are people who abort, who had accounts for aborting, but they are married today with children. Did I say go and do it? No. Where grace finds you, grace has found you. Let me conclude by saying, when you marry, sometimes these men and these women who were never born and bred in your line of system, they may be the cause when they fall back into their sin of being wolves in the Lord's house. The Lord says, don't be unequally yoked. Not just for you, even for fellow brethren. Because when the demon comes out, it comes out where they are. So, God is simply asking us, is it a blessing? Only God can bless the man. You are going to be blessed, yes, with a curse.
Wow. For the first time in life, I've actually been converted by Pastor DJ. That was deep, man. Oh, just a little listen to you. Well, thank you to Pauline for joining us for the first time on Reality Table. We surely hope you give us more insight on what is happening and affecting young people. And for my good boy Mose, all the way from Blue Whale, may God be with you. May God be your guide. And remember, the true blessing comes from God and God alone. Thank you, Kuzi, for being a host for the first time. We had a co-host who is a young person, so we'll ask you to conclude for us in prayer.
Is it possible to have a room, maybe one of these sessions? I just want to look at her to see, and she makes a comment.
Ruby, actually, I was going to say, but she's visiting Zimbabwe, and I think she will sit right where I'm sitting so that you can sit next to Ruby.
My goodness.
And Ruby, thank you so much. We hope you have a safe flight to your motherland and to be on Reality Table in person. So that someone can say, my personal person was, I don't know.
She can bless us.
Oh, yeah. You can bless us. Well, thank you for joining us. We hope you've really been blessed at Reality Table. Join us next week as we come to the final conclusion, talking about issues affecting young people, especially in the sexual fraternity. And Kunzi, thank you for being one of our co-hosts here on set, and we'll ask you to dismiss us with the word of prayer.
Okay, shall we pray? Thank you, God, for allowing us to be vessels, to speak, not because we are worthy, but because we have allowed the Holy Spirit to work in us first. How we pray that may the message be delivered in a rightful way, such that together with our brethren, those who have fallen, those who are planning, dear Father, to do these things, and those who have already committed with sins, that you might forgive us, dear Father, and that one day we might be able to testify and say that through you we are victors and we are overcomers. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
God bless you. Let's meet again next week as we talk more and more about issues affecting young people. Pastor Dickett, you can give us a royal word to just say bye. Peace. God bless you. See you next week.
Jesu anondityisa ini, Jesu anondityisa ini, Jesu Jesu anondida akandifira Jesu anondityisa ni Jesu anondityisa ni Jesu anondityisa ni Jesu anondityisa ni Jesu anondida akandifira Jesu anondityisa ni Jesu anondityisa ni
akauya kuzoparadza chitema kuti ini ndipone onaye terera uchagara kudenga nekusinga peria anondida
akandifira Jesu anondityisa ni Jesu anondityisa ni
anoda kuti ndirarame upenyu usina chitema onaye terera uchagara kudenga nekusinga pe
akandifira Jesu anondityisa ni Jesu anondityisa ni anondida akandifira Jesu anondityisa ni Jesu anondityisa ni
onaka
anondida akandifira Jesu anondityisa ni Jesu anondityisa Jesu anondityisa ni